Hello everyone, so in this video I just wanted to quickly go over the steps of the scientific method that we have reviewed so far this week. So we're looking at these first 4 steps of the scientific method: posing questions, conducting research, and developing a hypothesis, and designing an experiment. So let's look at posing a question. To write a scientific question, it needs to be one that we can answer by gathering data or evidence. It also is something that has to be specific, measurable, and fact-based. An example of a testable question would be: which freezes faster, fresh water or salt water? All right. Every experiment that you'll be doing this school year will begin with a testable question that you're going to be answering. Step number 2 is about research. So for the experiment that we're working on in class, our testable question is: how can we affect the motion of a car? To be able to answer this question well and to write and design a good experiment, we need to understand what motion is. So here, I've done the research for you, and now it's been up to you to now read through that information and understand what motion is, so you have a good solid foundation for this experiment. So if we read through this information, we learn that motion is when an object's position changes. All right? If it moves away from something, that we know that an object is in fact in motion. To be able to describe motion, we can use distance, which is the length between 2 points, and uses centimeters. We can also use speed, which is the distance the object moves per unit of time, and then we calculate that by doing distance divided by time. So again, motion is when an object changes position, and we can describe motion using distance and speed. Our third step is to form a hypothesis. Your hypothesis is a prediction about the outcome of the experiment. It has to be based on your background knowledge, on the observations you observed, hence the reason why our second step was conducting research. Your hypothesis needs to include something that's going to be tested, and it needs to take the form of an if-then statement. This hypothesis, this example, if I add salt to fresh water, then the water will take longer to freeze, gives us a rough outline of the experiment that they're going to do. So make sure you're keeping that in mind when you're writing a hypothesis, that your hypothesis gives people that quick snapshot of what it is that you're going to be doing. And then step number 4 is designing an experiment. So 2 things to keep in mind here in this section is that you need to have clearly defined variables. Your variables are your independent and your dependent variable. The independent variable is the factor that you're changing, and the dependent variable is the result of the independent variable. This means if you're deciding to make the ramp higher, that ramp higher, your higher ramp, is an independent variable, and your car going faster is going to be a dependent variable, because the higher ramp is what's going to have an effect on the speed of the car. Another thing to keep in mind, right? So first it was the defining your variables, but second is also writing out your experiment step by step. All right? That is in your procedure. You need to clearly define the observations that you intend to make, the observations that you need to take, every single step needs to be included in your procedure for it to be, for you to have a well carried out, well thought out experiment.